Welcome to my level 90 explosive concoction ignite build guide. Right now I'm rocking a 60 to 92k ignite DPS, and I also supplement my damage with gas arrow explosions. Okay, here we go. We're gonna run a level 82 map with the boss. So, mapping with explosive concoction isn't the fastest. It's not like Spark, but it's fast enough. Like if you wait around a bit, you can see that the monsters start actually burning from the ignite proliferation. Like here I didn't attack at all. And this one comes from the skill gem right now. But normally you just run around and toss your concoctions real fast and move on. The character feels extremely tanky. It's as all strong characters are evasion, energy shield based. I was planning to make it life based in the beginning, but then I realized that all the fire nodes are on the top side of the tree. So I went up and it only made sense to get the energy shield nodes. As you can see, the clear isn't too bad once the ignite prolifs start working. It takes 2 seconds for the prolif to spread, and I think that's stupid. Like, poisons get it in instantly, while fire has to wait for it to spread. Okay, here's a breach. To be honest, I'm bad at the game, so I just run around confused. If you're wondering why my mana is running out constantly, it's because of the life flask. It takes 15% of my mana when I use a life flask. As you can see, breaches aren't too bad. Like, it's not spark clear speed, but I think this is what GGG intended when they made this game. Just gonna leave the loot here for now, just for the sake of the video. Yeah, I'm just looking for the boss right now. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Okay, so boss, I'm gonna remove these buffs, just to make it fair. And that's it. Okay, so let's talk about the build. How it works is that I use the explosive concoction skill, which comes from the Pathfinder Ascendancy. It has 100% more magnitude of ignites you inflict, and it consumes mana flask charges instead of mana. It's a projectile skill, so it gains levels from the quiver. So you have to have a bow that gives you quiver effectiveness, so you get a lot of projectile skill levels, and an amulet with projectile skill levels. So skill tree, I go through the movement speed here, I take the evasion nodes, then go for the quiver effectiveness nodes, then I go here for the evasion rating per energy shield on a helmet. So what it does is, if you look at my evasion rating, it's 14k. If I remove the helmet, it's 9.5k. Then I take a lot of jewel sockets because there's not much ignite scaling on the skill tree, so I have to scale all my damage from jewel sockets. I have 3 jewels that give me around 10% quiver effectiveness, and some elemental damage and stuff. Then I have this Megalomaniac, which is the most powerful jewel that I have, I think. It's got immolation and fast-acting toxins, which are these notables here. Fast-acting toxins, immolation, and I'll show you how much damage this one jewel gives me. It goes from 60 to 92k to 50 to 77k, so it's extremely strong. Then I take these nodes here, energy shield per 12 evasion rating on equipped body armor. So if we look at my evasion, it's 5.6k. If I remove the armor, it's 3.3k. So I gain 2.3k energy shield from it. Then you need this notable here, which means that life flask recovery applies to energy shield. So if I use this flask, you can see it recharges really fast. This is one flask. And in addition to that, I have this node here. Life flask effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled, which means that if my energy shield is full, it still keeps healing. So if it goes down, it will bounce right back up. Then I have more jewels like this. Magnitude, damaging ailments deal faster, elemental damage. I get the energy shield from here. More fire damage. All this fire damage here except for these ignites. Another jewel. Another jewel. And another jewel. Then I get these energy shield nodes here. I get these fire nodes here, and I don't get this side because when I had the burning enemies you kill have 5% chance to explode, I didn't see a big difference, so I think it's useless. I take these elemental damages here, and another jewel here. That's it for the skill tree. So, oh, and this fire exposure effect here. These 2 nodes. I think the next one I'll get this here. Because explosive concoction inflicts fire exposure on hit. So it's a really good damage bonus. Now, for the skill gems, I use explosive concoction with fire mastery, fire infusion, strip away, searing flame, and wildfire. If you don't have the last slot yet, then I recommend you to use the crackle creep ring. That's for the main damage. Then supplementary damage I use scatter shot, immolate, primal armament, chaos mastery, and conk effect. I also use barrage, which with the perpetual charge, second wind, ingenuity. So what it allows me to do is, if my normal gas arrow is like this, just fires 3 arrows and that's it. If I use barrage, then it fires really fast. A few stacks of it. Then for auras and curses I use flammability with magnified effect, persistence, alchemist's boon, wind dancer with blind, culling strike, and maim. So, and I also use ghost dance with precision and fast forward. So ghost dance is extremely powerful. Recover energy shield equal to 5% of your evasion, which for me would be, so 5% of this is 700, I think. Probably. Yeah, 700. So every time I get hit and I lose a ghost shroud, I get 700 energy shield. And I rarely get hit because I've got 83% evasion. Another thing I forgot to mention is chaos inoculation, so you become immune to chaos damage. For the travel nodes, I just get the attributes that I need for the skills, and that's it. I don't care about anything else. After the maximum, I just get intelligence for mana. Ascendancy, I went this way. I took the explosive concoction first, then I took the traveler's wisdom, and then I went for the life flasks. As for gear, Widow Hail and Quiver with +2 projectile skills is mandatory. I highly recommend you to get that attack speed, dexterity, and fire damage to attacks on it. Fire damage, flat fire damage scales your ignite damage, which you can see is 60 to 92k. If I remove my gloves, it's 59 to 91k. So these are two mandatory pieces. Helmet, just go for as high energy shield as possible. Armor, evasion energy shield as high as possible. For your belt, if you don't have any resistances, just go for the resistances. If you have all your resistances maxed out, then get charm slots and life flask recovery rate. For the gloves, evasion energy shield, rarity, and fire damage. That's the main thing. For boots, movement speed, evasion, energy shield, resistances. For rings, breach rings are perfect with high flat fire damage, increased fire damage, and resistances. Here you can see this one as well. Flat fire, increased fire, high resistances. This ring I bought for 2 divines, and this ring I bought for 1 divine. It only had the fire mods, so it had added fire, increased fire, and fire resistance, and then I exalted the 3 other mods. I got lucky with the all elemental resistances. For your amulet, if you need, then get resistances. If you don't need it, get +3 projectile skills, rarity, maximum energy shield, and evasion rating. Don't forget that you can use the defense quality to increase your energy shield and evasion rating. And I highly recommend you to get the lasting trauma. It's this node here, which increases the magnitude of ailments you inflict. Magnitude is fire damage. And I believe that's it. Just get some good charms. Yeah, on the flask, I highly recommend you get the increased life flask recovery as high as you can, and increased charges gained, or 0.25 charges per second. It doesn't really matter which one you get, but let me show you. Sometimes the alchemist spoon seems to be buggy, but this is how fast the charges come. Yeah, you can see 4 charges, 8 charges, 12, and so on. If I use the mana flask, you can see that this one also recovers charges really fast. Around 1 per second, maybe slightly less. So yeah, that's the build. Thanks for watching.